Hey everybody, Mrs. Bianchi. Trapezoid FGHJ has vertices at 2, -3, G is 2, 4, H is 6, 4, and J is 9, -3. What is the area of the trapezoid? All right, so let's plot these points so we can visualize the trapezoid. We're going to go over 2 and then down 3. We'll go over, oh, by the way, we should put that there. We're going to go over 2 up 4, over 2 up 4. Let's put a G. Over 6 up 4. Let's point H. And then over 9, and then down 3. And we'll put a J. All right, let's connect our points. All right, and then I think what would be a good idea, just to make this a little bit easier to see, I'm going to make this larger now that I have it plotted, so we can really zoom in and look at it. All right, so that's a little bit bigger. We can see a little bit better. All right. Now, in order to get the area of the trapezoid, there are two approaches that we can take. We can break it up into a rectangle and then a triangle and add that together, or we can use the formula for area of a trapezoid, which I think is easiest. So that formula is, if you forgot, it's half of the sum of the parallel sides, which we call base 1 plus base 2. You're writing this down either in your Jamboard or on your piece of paper, times the height. All right, now the bases, recall, have to be parallel to each other. Which two lines are parallel to each other? It would be this line and this line. GH and E and FJ are parallel to each other. So we need to calculate the distance. Now, there are a couple ways we can do that. One way is by simple counting. 1, that's 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units. Or if we look at point G and we look at point H, another way to come up with that 4 is you look at the coordinates that differ from each other. So in that case, that's the 2 and the 6 that differ from each other. The x's differ from each other. And since these are both in the same quadrant, then we would subtract those two numbers. So if you subtracted the 2 from the 6, you would get the 4. All right, how about down here? How long is this line down here, the other parallel line? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, what could we do with points F and J? We could say, well, they're in the same quadrant. Find the coordinates that differ from each other. That would be the 2 and the 9, and subtract them. And of course, if we subtracted 2 from 9, we would get 7 also. All right, so let's plug those in as our bases. We have 4 and we have 7. Now, we do have to figure out the height. The height is perpendicular to the base. So that would be this line right here. This forms a right angle. Let's count how many units long that is. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now there's another way we could come up with the 7, and that would be to look at, let me erase this up here. So we're talking about points G, and we're talking about point F. And to get the 7, we could say to ourselves, which, is it the x or the y's that differ from each other? In that case, it would be the y's that differ from each other. They're in different quadrants. The rule is add the absolute value when they're in different quadrants. And of course, this plus this would be 7. All right, so 7 is the height. Now let's press on with figuring out the area of this trapezoid by simplifying. All right, so what's 4 plus 7? That would be 11 times 7. Next, we have, this is an odd number, this is an odd number. When they're both odd, then I usually recommend just going ahead and multiply that together, which would be 77. So the only thing left you have to do is find half of 77, which is the same thing as 77 divided by 2. And that's what they want, the area of the trapezoid. Put that in as your final answer with square units.